At some point growing up, we got the idea that we needed to be a specific person to be good enough. To be good enough to be understood, to be accepted, and most of all to be loved. And it doesn't matter if that idea came from our parents telling us what it means to be a man, or that real girls aren't loud. Maybe it came from the girls in class telling all the girls that they weren't pretty enough, or from the guys bullying and physically abusing the other guys because they were weaker. Maybe it came from the teachers telling the students that they weren't smart enough to get good grades, or it just came from society showing what it means to be a real man, showing how many girls you need to sleep with, or showing what the fat percentage of girls need to be and how thin they need to look and what size their asses is. The conclusion of it was, or the interpretation of it was, that we need to be a specific way to be good enough. And since we aren't that can only mean one thing, which is that being us, being the person that we are, isn't enough. Now we're running around just trying to complete this idea of what we think it means to be good enough. Trying to show desperately to others that we are. Hopelessly trying to get them to look at us and say, yeah, great job, now you're finally enough. And not realizing that the fact that we're trying so desperately hard to try to be someone that we're not is only looping and increasing the feeling that we aren't enough. And so we walk around comparing ourselves to every person that we think we might win or lose over in that comparison game. Looking at them saying, oh, is he more of a man than I am? And best case scenario, when we play that comparison game, we're actually winning over someone else by what we think it means to be enough. And so now we short term have a sense of a rush, a feeling of excitement and an arrogant attitude because we think, oh yeah, fuck yeah, I'm the fucking shit, based on some superficial standard that we fucking made up in our own fucking mind. And even then, when we feel validated for trying to portray a certain persona, it doesn't fucking last, because all it's really telling us is that, yeah, now you're good enough because you're not you anymore. Now you're good enough because you aren't being yourself, and because you changed who you are. And so really, it's just enforcing the belief and feeling that we aren't enough. Or worst case scenario, we lose the comparison game. We lose it over and over and over again, until the point where we're walking home and we look ourselves in the mirror and we genuinely feel disgusted by the person we see in the mirror. We feel hatred towards that person staring back at us, because we're thinking that person isn't living up to the idea that I have in my mind of who I need to be. All we're seeing in the mirror is a failure of being the person that we need to be, instead of understanding that that person is already enough. And we hear from models, the most beautiful girls on the planet, that they're still not feeling good enough, even though they won, even though they were getting the title as the most beautiful girl alive. And we hear from guys who made billions of dollars that the money didn't make them feel enough, and that they were just trying to chase that feeling of being good enough. They were trying to fill that void inside of them, but the money couldn't do it for them. Yet we don't believe them. Yet we're running around still having that emptiness inside of us and saying, yeah, that's all good, but oh man, I really need that fucking money. Man, I just need to get a little bit buffer. If I just had the right clothes to put on so I would look cool, or if I had a cool career maybe. Instead of realizing that really the trying to be something is what's keeping us in the loop of not feeling enough. That literally everyone on the planet is running around with this same emptiness feeling inside. This same fucking feeling of just wanting to be enough. Maybe if we can recognize that it's the case for everyone, and that it's just an idea, an illusion that we're having in our head. And if we take a step towards actually being ourselves and being honest with who we are and not who we want to be, then we'll start to feel a sense of pride towards who we actually are. And when we get validated for that person, we'll actually feel good because it's actually us. So if you see this video, know that you actually are enough, and know that you never needed to be someone else to be good enough. I hope you can relate to this. I hope it can bring you a sense of ease, a calmness, maybe a feeling of peace within yourself. And if you liked the video, please do subscribe to the channel. I will deeply appreciate it. And leave a comment, leave a like. And thank you for watching. Remember to stay true to you.